Art Rooney II just issued a brutal ultimatum. Aaron Rodgers has until April 23rd to commit, or Pittsburgh moves on forever. The Steelers reunited Rodgers with Mike McCarthy to chase a ring, but after a humiliating playoff exit, the clock is ticking. Is Rodgers retiring, or is he finished? After 19 years, Mike Tomlin walked away. The Steelers' longest-tenured coach resigned after the Houston Texans destroyed Pittsburgh 30-6 in the playoffs. But before Tomlin left, something unexpected happened. The Steelers didn't panic. They didn't search for a young defensive mind. Instead, they hired Mike McCarthy, an offensive coach who had won a Super Bowl with Green Bay back in 2010. Who was his quarterback that year? Aaron Rodgers. That hiring choice screams a message to the 42-year-old veteran. But here's the problem. Rodgers hasn't committed. He hasn't even said he's coming back. And now, with the NFL draft starting April 23rd in Pittsburgh, the Steelers are out of patience. Rooney said it clearly. No more waiting until June. He expects an answer before the draft kicks off. So why the rush? The 2025 season was supposed to be Rodgers' goodbye tour. He said it himself before the season started. "I'm pretty sure this is it," he told Pat McAfee. "We did a one-year deal. This was about finishing with love and fun and peace." He'd played 20 years. He wanted to end on his terms in Pittsburgh, one of the cornerstone franchises of the NFL. For most of 2025, it worked. Rodgers threw for 3,322 yards and 24 touchdowns against only 7 interceptions. He had a 94.8 quarterback rating. More importantly, he led the Steelers to something they hadn't done in 5 years, an AFC North title. They beat Baltimore twice, including a winner-take-all Week 18 game that clinched the division. The first game back was special. Week 1 against the New York Jets, his former team. Rodgers threw for 244 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He was the first Steelers player to throw 4 TDs in a game since Ben Roethlisberger in 2021. Steelers fans who were skeptical about the old quarterback buying in finally saw why this mattered. But the playoffs exposed everything that was broken. Houston came to Pittsburgh and shut down the Steelers' offense completely. The numbers were brutal. Pittsburgh gained just 175 total yards. They converted only 2 out of 14 third-down attempts. More damaging, they didn't score a single touchdown all game. Rodgers, who looked sharp all season, fell apart in the fourth quarter. With the Steelers down by 4, Will Anderson Jr. hit Rodgers hard and forced a fumble. Sheldon Rankins picked it up and ran it back 33 yards for a touchdown. That made it 17-6. Then, on another drive, Rodgers threw a pass downfield. Callan Bullock, a Texans defensive back, caught it instead. Pick 6. Returned 50 yards. Game over. Rodgers went 17 of 33 for 146 yards. He was sacked 4 times. His 50.8 passer rating was a career postseason low. His final pass as a Steeler was returned for a touchdown. If this is it, it's not the ending he wanted. That loss hurt more than just Rodgers' ego. The Steelers extended an ugly streak. They've now lost 7 straight playoff games, tied with former Bengals coach Marvin Lewis for the most in NFL history. They lost 4 straight home playoff games for the first time ever. The organization that built its legacy on defense and championships had become predictable in failure. If Rodgers retires, the Steelers go all in on a young quarterback. They have the 21st overall pick. If Rodgers returns, they can skip the position, take a wide receiver or defensive piece, and build around him. But they can't wait until June to know. They need to know before April 23rd. It's not just about the pick, it's about the cap. Rodgers carries a massive $50 million price tag for 2026. If he stays, the Steelers are financially locked in. If he retires, that money becomes a war chest for free agency. Art Rooney isn't just waiting for a quarterback, he's waiting for his checkbook to open. That's why Mike McCarthy's hiring is so important. It's not just about bringing in a proven coach. McCarthy knows Rodgers better than anyone in football right now. They won a Super Bowl together. Rodgers won 2 of his 4 MVP awards under McCarthy. When the Packers were dominant, it was because McCarthy let Rodgers be Rodgers. He gave him freedom at the line of scrimmage. He let him adjust plays, change protections, and control the tempo based on what he saw from the defense. Under Mike Tomlin, Rodgers didn't have that freedom. Tomlin's system was complicated and rigid. Some reports said Rodgers operated under tight parameters. With McCarthy, that all changes. Rodgers could have the autonomy he thrived on for years in Green Bay. That's the carrot. That's what the Steelers are banking on to bring him back. But is it enough? Rodgers is 42. He took a massive hit that forced a fumble in the playoffs. He threw a pick-6 on his final pass of the season. He's been open about wanting to finish his career the right way, with love and peace. A playoff blowout loss doesn't fit that narrative. However, Rodgers has also left the door open. Right after the playoff loss, he didn't declare anything. He said he'd talk to his wife and have the right conversations. He said he enjoyed his time in Pittsburgh more than he expected. The front office, according to NFL Network, wants him back. They haven't signed another quarterback. They've made no real effort to add to the QB room. Mason Rudolph and rookie Will Howard are the only other options. That tells you Pittsburgh is waiting. They're betting on Rodgers. The problem is Kirk Cousins is out there as a backup plan. If Rodgers retires, Kirk Cousins is the contingency. Cousins is probably patient, waiting for a starting opportunity. But if the Steelers can get Rodgers back, they don't need to make a panic move at a different position. The silence from Rodgers isn't just affecting the front office, it's paralyzing the locker room. Established stars like TJ Watt and George Pickens are in the prime of their careers, and they aren't interested in a rebuild year led by a bridge quarterback. When the Steelers hired McCarthy, the signal to the veterans was clear: win now. But you can't build chemistry in the dark. If Rodgers returns, he needs to be at OTAs, building rapport with a restructured offensive line that was specifically drafted to protect his 42-year-old frame. Every day Rodgers spends weighing his options is a day the team loses ground on installing McCarthy's high-tempo system. This isn't the Packers' West Coast offense from 2010. It's a modern evolution that requires a symbiotic relationship between the play caller and the signal caller. If the quarterback isn't there to provide input on the playbook, the Steelers are essentially building a custom car without knowing if the driver is even going to show up to the track. So here's what we know with 24 days until the deadline. Rodgers hasn't signed anywhere else. No team has snatched him, no retiring announcement, he's still weighing his options. Last year, he said he wouldn't take as long to decide this time. Rooney said he's not 100% sure what that means, but he expects an answer. The Steelers are building for a quarterback who hasn't told them he's coming back. They hired his old coach. They overhauled the offense from defensive-minded Tomlin to offensive-minded McCarthy. They're doing everything to get Aaron Rodgers back, and the franchise is out of time to gamble on a June signing. If he comes back, the Steelers could compete immediately with a Super Bowl-winning coach and a Hall of Famer at quarterback. If he retires, they go back to square one with Mason Rudolph and an unknown rookie. The AFC North has Baltimore and Cincinnati still in contention. Houston, the team that beat them 30-6, is building something special. The Steelers can't afford to wait. The urgency is amplified by a division that has become an absolute arms race. Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson aren't sitting around waiting for Rodgers to emerge from a darkness retreat. They are refining their rosters right now. In a division where 3 teams made the postseason last year, a slow start in September because of a June quarterback signing is equivalent to missing the playoffs entirely. The Steelers finished 20-25 atop the North, but that crown is slippery. That's why April 23rd matters so much. That's why Art Rooney II drew a line in the sand. And that's why Aaron Rodgers has 24 days to decide if he wants to be a Steeler again, or if that playoff loss was his final game in the NFL. The clock is literally on the clock now.